Hello, and welcome back to the Casual Fanatic. We continue the series with three key men. Today's team, Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers. And this is a team where it might not be the most, let's say, compelling to talk about because, in general, they're viewed as a more so boring team. But I don't view it that way. I view it as they're very tactically adept team. I think they play an interesting style of football, especially in possession, and they actually have a technical quality and security that you don't really see that far down the table. Now, where Wolves are sitting in the league, it's not a positive sight for them, right? But I think there are some positives to take in the fact that they are still 15th, they are still 3 points above the relegation zone, despite the fact that this team cannot score goals. To put it into perspective, they have 18 goals. 3 of those came against Liverpool, which was a shock. And then a couple of penalties in there, and it's like they just can't find a method of scoring. And one of the biggest problem with that is they don't actually have a goal scorer. They don't have a striker. Now, talking about how they're able to have the general structure and the setup to even allow them to be in this kind of position after all this time in the season, after 24 games, to still be in this position despite not being able to score goals at all in any kind of consistent manner. That is because their most important player, and it is clear, is Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves is easily Wolves' best player and the most important player. And I was shocked to see he's still only 25. How he's still there is the more surprising thing. Because he's a clear profile that would have been able to fit in at any of the top clubs. I think he's kind of been unlucky in the sense that, one, he's Wolves' captain. They put so much weight on his shoulders. And he's probably getting a decent salary anyway. Everyone in the Premier League can afford to pay a good salary. But for him also is the fact that most of the top clubs have their DM situation sorted out. Or DM / holding midfielders. So Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, United. They all have him there. They all have that kind of player. And that's why he would have to move abroad from the Premier League to really get a bigger move. And if he does do that, then you're probably going to not have the same salary anyway. You're going to be away from the limelight and the attraction. So I understand why he stays. That being said, I think he's someone who truly can become an elite role in a team, like Wolves. Same kind of, I'm not saying he's just below the level for me in terms of Bruno Guimaraes. I think he can offer more. But he's the type of player that can be that level of team, right? He can elevate a team to that. You just got to surround them with the right pieces. And I think a good start was having Matheus Nunes. But the problem with having Matheus Nunes is, and this is why he's going to be talked about in the video as well, is it can't just be him. And can you keep him alongside Ruben Neves? Because, yeah, you've been able to keep Ruben Neves, but there's no claim that you're going to be able to keep all of the players at that profile level in the club. That's why you have to build quickly. And Wolves have to try and regain that form. And with Raul Jimenez's drop-off, players like Ruben Neves are not going to stick around for that long because Wolves are going to keep teetering around this spot in the league. That being said, he's someone who's in the 97th percentile for medium passes completed. He's in the 97th percentile for total passing distance. Progressive passing distance, he's in the 96th percentile. And then also another thing that was very surprising to me was the clearances. Right here, the clearances, 97th percentile in clearances. This is because he's someone that is going to play deep. He's going to receive everything channels through him, and he's spreading all of the play. He's not, again, a ball carrier. He's not going to take it on the dribble, beat his man, take it one-on-one. That's not him. And also, because he's so far back, he's not going to have those penetrating passes, the penalty box, because his progressive passing stats are good. They are very solid, his progressive passing stats, but not the carries and not into the final third. Even here, you can look at his touches. The touches in the defensive penalty area, defensive third, are 99 percentile. His touches in general are 89 percentile. Mid-third, it starts to drop out 78 percentile, and attacking third, it's down to 33 percentile. And that's the thing where he needs those right pieces around him. But in general, also, his defensive stats are very solid. He can tackle the ball. He's a smart player. He seems like a good leader as well at Wolves. He seems like he has that personality behind him that he's able to carry that weight on his shoulders and inspire the people around him. So I definitely think he's their most important player. That being said, most promising player, that's Mateus Nunes. I was shocked to see how fast he actually is, which is a huge benefit, and that's why Wolves right now under Lopetegui are kind of made him into left midfielder, left side midfielder, Sarabia on the other side. But he is fast enough to offer them that outlet and pace on the left wing. He still needs to understand and learn that role and a position. I'm not saying that's going to be his best position long term, but it's definitely something that Lopetegui is addressed, seeing that, hey, we have an issue here. He might be someone that able to give us the cover out for the left back and also give us something going forward. As well as the fact that you saw it in their goal against who did they just play? Fulham. Their goal against Fulham, where he had the quality to find Raul Jimenez on the back post, who headed it down, and then Sarabia finished it. That's created through the quality of Mateus Nunes. And then the same thing is Wolves left backs, whether it's Aït-Nouri playing or Hugo Bueno, they do like to go forward, and they do like to overlap, and they do like to join into the attack. That's why you're going to need someone who's going to be able to cover at times, because you don't really want Ruben Neves. That was something I didn't point out about him, is he is slow and he isn't the best. When he's defending out wide, he does seem to get burned or commit fouls. And that's what you want to avoid. So if you have someone like Mateus Nunes with the recovery pace that you'll be able to offer, I think that would be a great bonus. Now, you do want to eventually settle him into being a more central player. I understand that it's early on in Lopetegui's reign, so he's going to still need to get in a few pieces, especially in the summertime, to be able to cover for that. Wolves don't just need one signing. They do need multiple signings. But I definitely think the most important thing to address is that striker profile. And you saw kind of the way they want to play. Yes, now it's really unfortunate that Matheus Cunha is injured, because I think he would have been benefited so greatly in this system, because he is given that kind of free role to create, to link up play, to kind of jump in here and there and just transition across the entire forward line and create those line breaking passes and try and create for the striker and actually have someone who can take things off the dribble. That is something as well that Mateus Nunes does offer, in the sense of his ball carries are very solid, and he doesn't do it through passing. He does it through the carries. His progressive carries is in the 79th percentile, carries into the final third is in the 83rd percentile. His progressive passes received in the 81st percentile. So you can kind of tell the way it is. It's Ruben Neves dishing into Nunes and Mateus Nunes, and he's the one then taking the ball on with his ball at his feet to then create further. That's where he would love to have someone to link up with, and that's where it needs to be someone like a Matheus Cunha, who can then help him create for the strikers, as well as someone like Sarabia as well. It gives them a couple different options. Now, Wolves do need a striker, and they need someone who gives them the similar kind of profile that Raul Jimenez gives them, but just more lethal. And also, you can tell he's a little hesitant. I know it's very unfortunate, and he was having an alright, I won't say he was a good Premier League striker, but he was an alright Premier League striker before his injury. But his injury just seems to have completely set him back. I don't know if there's a way back now. I think it's a time for Wolves, and I think they're aware of it too, and that's why in the summer they tried to sign Kaladzic, and they tried to get Diego Costa to do something. They signed Matheus Cunha. Really anything to try and spark life into this attack, but they're just not finding it, and they're getting unlucky as well in the situation. Kaladzic on his debut gets an ACL injury. Cunha's now got injured. Diego Costa didn't prove well. We knew that what Diego Costa was going to be. It's just past it. He's been past it for a while now. Don't get me wrong, he was a great striker in his pomp, but he's not there anymore. So I was like, what kind of profile do Wolves want? Where do you go with it? I know the general thing has been going, hey, let's go get our Portuguese player, let's go get our Spanish player. I think maybe let's, for once, divert away from that. Get a different profile in there. Get someone who maybe sparks some life in there. I'm not saying this is the case. I don't know the Wolves dressing room, but maybe there's a little bit of too much camaraderie, too much complacency, too much comfort within each other. The whole dressing room just feels Portuguese and Spanish, and they just all very friendly. Maybe you need someone who's a little bit more isolated in the team, someone who's a little bit of an outlier, someone who they're like, oh, okay, he's a little bit of a mysterious presence. Maybe you should try and play up to him, try and show him what we're about, create for him, be that lethal goal scorer. They need someone like that. They need that kind of profile that just sparks something into that attack. And I think there's an opportunity kind of opening up. I know he's still not completely away from that hype, but I would go look at Leverkusen. I was just watching Leverkusen's game with Monaco, their two legs. I do like Leverkusen. I think they're an interesting team. I think they have someone like Florian Wirtz who's amazing, who's going to be stellar. But they right now have Flodzic. And I think they look better with Flodzic than they did with Patrick Schick. And my recommended signing is Patrick Schick. And the reason why is because I think that there might be an opening coming up. I'm not saying he's going to come cheap, but he's not going to come at the maybe 40, 50 million that they were going to ask last summer. Because last summer he just came off of, I think, 27 goals and assists in like something like 29 games. He had a great season last year. This season, 10 starts, 3 goals, no assists, 12 total games. That's not what they really want from him. This is not, and now they've transitioned into seeing a new striker. They also have a couple different options in there, Adli and Diaby. So now they're starting to find maybe they have another alternative and maybe making the cash off of him. Then the clubs don't have Premier League privilege where they can just hold players and store them and whatever and have 2, 3, 40 million, 50 million assets there. Because realistically, Holodzic and Patrick Schick are both 40 million guys at least. And if that's the case, Leverkusen can't just sit on that. I think it'd be beneficial for them to sell. And you might be able to get Patrick Schick at a slightly lower price this summer because of the season he's had. Wolves kind of have to hope that he doesn't have a good end to the season now. Which might be the case, and I might be proven wrong, and then he might be attracted even higher up. Or he might even be kept. But I think this is someone they should go after. He gives them that profile of being the target man. He's someone that now in a full season has been able to prove that he can score goals. He has good ball striking. He can link up a little bit. He can run about. He's a powerful striker. And I think he'd definitely be someone they should be interested in. Because even this season, considering the fact that he's had such a low point in the season, he's still in the 86th percentile of non-penalty XG, which is great. And then his aerial duels are high. The thing that he does lack a little bit is that passing game. He isn't going to be there to link up the play and play making behind and kind of bounce balls off with Mateus Nunes. But that's what you want Cunha to do. And then all you need Schick to do is score. And I think that would be a great signing for Wolves. If not someone along that profile, I think it would be a great signing for Wolves. That being said, those are 3 key men for Wolves. I'll be excited to see what they do because I do believe it's a team that should be in the Premier League. They definitely have the quality, they have the style. I think they have the stadium, the aura around the club is great. I think it's a Premier League team, and I'll be excited to see what they do in the summer. Bye-bye.